responsible for their content and do not reflect the opinions of InTouch Radio or its staff.
Buccaneer. One eye patch like a Buccaneer. How you on the ship, you ain't a Buccaneer. 12 shots on me like a Buccaneer. Diamonds on me shining cause a Buccaneer. Big star defense Buccaneer. Feel go good with the Buccaneer. Want me shoot the cannon like a Buccaneer. Buccaneer. One eye patch like a Buccaneer.
Yes, put your eye patches on. We are back, baby, in the saddle. The season has kicked off, and it is Monday morning. And thank you, Bezel Bone. I needed that pump up in the morning. You know, you need your people with you. You're going to come on and do a podcast, you know, and you're in the studio by yourself. You need a little help to keep the energy live. You're mic'd up in the morning with yours truly, Michael Clayton. We've missed out on you guys the past few months. Had to do some regathering and rediscovering and try to see exactly what the content we wanted to bring to you in this next push of Mic'd Up on Monday mornings. And because the football season has kicked off, I mean, we got a lot to talk about. For those who have been sleeping the past year in a coma and didn't know that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the Super Bowl last year, they are trying to defend their title, and they will be the topic of discussion for a long 17 to 21 weeks, okay? Hopefully it's the whole full 21. All right, and we'll see exactly where that goes with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But you can catch me because I do the Bucs pre- and post-game radio show on 620 WDAE, our flagship sports radio station here. And I'm in my fourth year. And one thing, if you've never heard me on radio, I tell it like it is. Sometimes it's not always popular to the people who are playing. It's not always popular to the people who might be coaching or might be leading. But it is my job to bring you the truth. So that is what I do. And I enjoy it week in and week out. So you can catch us on game day 2 hours before kickoff. And as soon as the game is over with, 2 hours after, you can catch me on our pre- and post-game coverage. Listen, we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to be kind of all over the place. We're going to talk Buccaneers. I'm going to give you my breakdown of how the team did in their first week one matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. It was a nail-biter. First time in a long time the Buccaneers have had an opportunity to have a full house. Fans were invited, 60,000 plus people. It hasn't been that packed in years, maybe even decades. But it was a great feeling for the fans in attendance. It was a great feeling, I know, for the players who got a chance to finally play in front of a live crowd. So we'll kind of summarize, you know, what went down and kind of keep you motivated to stay tuned in to the Buccaneers and get on that gravy train. A lot of people got off the gravy train last year, all right? And it was a situation where I had to educate some people. We got a caller coming in, and I had to tell people to get on the line. All right, stay on the line. And had some people who jumped ship last year, so we want to make sure we keep our people up in tune. We got a caller coming in. Let's take it. Get it right. All right. So if you want to call and talk a little Bucs football, talk a little bit about some of the other topics that we have coming up, that number is 813-444-9588. You call the InTouch News Radio hotline, and you can have some dialogue with your boy, MC, while we get it in. Today we got a very extinguished guest, Miss Deborah Austin. She'll be talking about the Affirming Fatherhood Conference that's coming up. One of the big things in the world today is how to be a good parent. I mean, we know how to make the baby, okay? We know how to make the baby. But after you make the baby, you got to take care of the baby. And we fall short in that department for a very, very, very long time. And it takes a united front of people talking about it, bringing awareness, and giving education about fatherhood and what it means to be a present and good father. So we'll be talking to Miss Deborah Austin, who has her PhD about the Affirming Fatherhood Conference. We'll also have a call in from Mr. Michael Morgan, who works with the community outreach program called Reach Up Inc. And there are a lot of great things going on in Tampa, and we're excited to have our guests and talk about the missions that they're doing to make our community better, not only for the people who are working in our community, but for our kids as well. Very important that we stay tuned to those initiatives that are going on. Later in the show, I'll also be giving you a testimony about why I decided to get vaccinated. The NFL alumni chapter has teamed up with the CDC, and we have an event coming up on the, I want to get this right, on the 19th, I believe, the 19th. I'll make sure I get that right. But you'll have some NFL alumni players at the event that I'll talk about later on in the show at Anna G. Mendez University. That's on 3655 West Waters Avenue. And it's actually, Friday, September 17th is the actual date. I'm sorry. Friday, September 17th. It's a vaccination event. It'll take place from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Anna G. Mendez University. You can see people like myself and other former athletes who have been vaccinated, who are lending their voice to the community, giving our testimonies about why we decided to get vaccinated. And listen, it's your choice, okay? Getting a vaccination is your choice. And a lot of people were hesitant. I know I was hesitant. All right, my wife is a doctor. She got the vaccine, was one of the first people to get the vaccine. And I was just waiting on the side to see if one of her limbs fell off. She lost a thumb or a toe. All right, something going on in it. Like, I was worried a little bit, but I was praying. All right, and I was like, man, I'm not doing it. I'm going to let you be the guinea pig on that. So she got the vaccine. Everything was fine with her. And then months later, I had to make a decision if I was going to get the vaccine. And so I did. And later on in the show, I'll be telling you exactly my testimony about me making that decision, how I was able to change my mind. A lot of it has to do with reaching out to your doctors and getting that information. Once you get the information from the doctors, I feel like you are well equipped to make a sound decision about vaccinations to not only protect you and your family, but to protect the community as well and kind of get us back to normal. One of the things that I read about is the reason why we're seeing this virus mutate is because not everybody is buying into the vaccination process. So if you look at it like that, we are on a long road if we don't have everybody buying in of mutation after mutation, different COVID virus after different one. And, you know, nobody wants to live in a world constantly fighting an invincible monster. So I feel like it's important because the answer to the problem from gathering information from doctors and, you know, my wife and other healthcare workers is kind of like a football team. You know, it's everybody has to be educated. Everybody has to be on the same page, and we all have to move as a unit. And so what better way to bring the analogy of a football team on the topic of COVID vaccinations than from an actual football player. So a lot of Hall of Famers, a lot of Pro Bowlers, a lot of, current players, all-pro players have all lended their voice to this initiative to bring awareness to vaccinations. And we have an event coming up on September 17th, again, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Anna G. Mendez University. That's at 3655 West Waters Avenue in Tampa, Florida. you'll get an opportunity to meet some NFL alumni players and hear our stories about that. So listen, we're geared up for a great show today. Excited to talk to my extinguished guest today. Excited to bring you info about vaccinations today. And I'm excited to talk Buccaneers, okay? Anybody want to call in and chat with me a little bit, you'll have an opportunity to do so. If you call, hopefully that number is on your screen, but that number again is 813-444-9588. That's 813-444-9588. And you can call in and we'll talk a little bit of football. So on the intro, listen, man, we had a great outing in week 1. We didn't play our best football, okay? Wasn't pretty by any means. But a win is a win in the NFL. And and the good teams find a way to win. And we broke history in week 1. The first team to have lose the turnover battle. First team to do a lot of things, all right? A lot of things bad, and still win, all right? And that was exciting. There was an addition last year to our team late, that being Antonio Brown. And last year, a lot of people who are just engulfed with everything Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a problem with Antonio Brown, simply because he had some off-the-field issues, thought he was going to be a distraction to the team. Lo and behold, he came in, and he did his thing last year when he had his opportunities. And from a former player, what I see is a guy who can come in and do that in 1 week, has the ability to set it on fire. So I knew coming into this season, if we had an opportunity to bring Antonio Brown back, that he would get off this year. And in week 1, he was ready to rock. All right, he was the leader out there, making splash plays, wiggling, doing everything. All right, like he was in a rare form. The AB of old is what I saw. And he's in a contract year, and he showed himself approved in week 1, being Tom Brady's favorite target, and caught a lot of great balls, had some great energy, and kind of took the lead. I think he kind of felt a little sourpuss because he's not a starter, or not labeled as a starter. So you got Michael Evans, and you have Chris Godwin as the starting receivers, okay? So you got your starters, and AB is not mentioned as a starting receiver. He's kind of the third option, but, you know, in my opinion, my humble opinion, you got the starters, and then you got AB, all right? You got the starters, and then you got AB. We're getting the caller. We're going to take it really quick. You're mic'd up on Monday morning with Michael Clayton. Talk to me. You're mic'd up on Monday morning with yours truly, Michael Clayton. Talk to me, please. All right, we got to get it fixed. We're going to go to a break, and when we come back, we're going to have these phone lines wide open and working for you to call in and communicate. You're mic'd up on Mondays with yours truly, Michael Clayton, and we'll be back right after this. We'll be back right after this.
Buccaneer. One eye patch like a Buccaneer.
Jacobs Production, in partnership with Trinity City of Praise and the African American Family Institute, presents a musical play, 10 Boys and One Girl, coming soon to the David A. Strauss Jr. Center for the Performing Arts, 1010 North Mercedes Place, Tampa, Florida, September the 18th, 2021. 2 p.m. matinee show, 7:30 p.m. late show, $25 general seating, VIP seating $50. You don't want to miss this powerful performance, a story of a man and woman raising 10 boys, one girl, through trial and obstacles. obstacles with resilience, faith, and love, they made it. Directed by Nate Jacobs of the West Coast Black Theater Troupe. Musical director Davon Jameson of Jacksonville, Florida. Tickets can be found at the Strat Center box office. For more information, call 813-229-7827. 10 boys, 1 girl, family strong.
Oh, Ricky. Ask Ricky. You need medical or a lawyer. I got the man to do the leg work for you. We tried the other ones before, so believe we hunted down 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay, call Ricky, he coming. He taking care of state of Florida, grab a pen or sun down 184-361-RICK. That's 184-361-425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, plus your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361-RICK. Call Ricky, ask Ricky is a legal medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and giving you the best medical treatment and recovery. Dial 1-844-361-RICK. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky.
Buccaneer. One eye patch like a Buccaneer. How you on the ship, you ain't a
Yeah,
Buccaneer.
baby.
Bloodshot on me like a Buccaneer.
We back in the saddle. We rocking. And yeah, I'm still a Buccaneer. Once a Buccaneer, you're always a Buccaneer. And it's an exciting times because we got a big week 1 win. And we continue our Tampa Bay victories with another interesting topic or event that's coming our way. I am in the studio right now with Miss Dr. Deborah Austin, who serves as the Director of Community Engagement for Reach Up, Inc. in Tampa, Florida. And in this capacity, she oversees the creation and implementation and management of communication and collaboration strategies that promote and foster health equity. Dr. Austin is here to talk about the Affirming Fatherhood Conference that's coming up on the 16th and 17th. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I want to get right into it. What is the Affirming Fatherhood Conference all about, and how did it get created?
Okay. Well, one of the things that I want to say is that we are very, very delighted to choose the name that we did. Okay, Affirming Fatherhood Conference, because I heard you mention that, you make the babies, now you got to know what to do. Okay, so one of the things we say is that no little boy ever grew up saying, you know what, when I grow up, I want to be a deadbeat dad. Life happens. And so we're here for those men for whom life happens. Yeah. Men who just aren't doing it the way they want to do it or should do it. But you know what else, my brother? There are some men out there like you who are doing it.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, you all are really doing it. And can I tell the audience why one of the reasons I'm so excited to be on your show?
Absolutely.
Well, audience, in 2017, the keynote speaker for the Affirming Fatherhood Conference was Michael Clayton.
Yes.
And he did a tremendous job. That year, our topic was fathering outside of the box.
Yeah.
And I never forget how transparent you were in sharing a story about you and your older daughter.
Yes.
And just some of the recommendations that you gave to men for being a good father. So we thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am.
But we just bring information to dads, to people who provide services to dads, so there'd also be women there because there are women who work for organizations that provide services to dad. Researchers will be there, professors, anybody who's interested in making sure that we affirm fathers and fatherhood will be at this conference.
Do you think that this is a pandemic in itself, fathers neglecting their kids, and how does that impact the community in a negative way from your perspective?
Right. I think it's a pandemic, as far as I'm concerned, in 2 ways. I think one of the pandemics is that we put too much emphasis on parenting on the mom. I think that's a pandemic as well. That, even in the upper classes where men have money and all of that, still so much is put on the mom when the dad needs to be there. And so then the other pandemic, of course, is, some of our other brothers who just don't know maybe have gotten to the point where they're discouraged and even maybe to the point where they don't care. But one of the things that we do know is that when dad is involved, and we are not downplaying the role of mom at all, but when dad is involved, the child grows up and does much better in all kinds of ways. The child is more likely, even health-wise, the child is likely to be healthier, do better in school, stay out of crime and those kind of situations. The child is more likely to, just all around, have fewer problems than children whose fathers aren't there. And one of the things that some research shows us, which is very interesting, is that the dad really has more impact than even the mom on the development of literacy, that's reading, and numeracy, that's math.
Right.
And so a lot of dads don't know that. Just spending that time reading, talking, playing, being there. And that's one of the things that we have to say sometimes to the sisters and the brothers. It's not just about him bringing some money,
Right.
which is important because you have to have money to live.
That's right.
But that should not prevent dad from being in that child's life.
Absolutely. Now, when we talk about, being a good dad, we know that there are a lot of bad parents out there, bad dads out there, but it's never too late.
Absolutely
It's never
not.
too late
Absolutely
to make it right. I have an older daughter who's 19 years old, going on 20. She's in college now. She didn't grow up in my home with me. So there are a lot of things, I had my first child at 19 years old, and, I had to learn on the go. And years passed by in a blink of an eye. My baby is 6 years old, and then she's 12 years old, and it's a lot of things that you miss out on. And when your kids get older, you don't think they remember, but they remember little specks of you not being there, and they compartmentalize that in their own way. And sometimes kids lash out. And I was embarrassed for going, weeks at a time without speaking to my child. Or sometimes it was a month because the time just passed so fast. And as a parent, it's embarrassing. And if you don't know how to kind of get over that embarrassing hump, you will stay in it.
That's right.
For a long time, and you will neglect your child simply because you're embarrassed and you're waiting on your child to make the first step, and she's not even old enough to kind of comprehend a parent not being in their life. So I guess my question to you is, at this conference, will there be discussions about, parents who didn't do the right thing, and that, hey, if time is available to you, there's still opportunity for you to make it right, and giving men the guidelines to kind of take that first step if they were in a situation where they had neglected their child?
Yeah, well, we're a 2-day conference, so we won't have the opportunity to do a lot of that. On the first day, we're going to have Dr. Kevin Sneed come and talk about dads and this virus thing.
Yeah.
And then on the second day, we're going to have Clayton Sizemore come in and talk about things that men can do to relax and to be present, what we call mind, body, spirit care.
Yes.
And then we're going to have Rick Rollins to come in and talk about looking good as far as the brothers are concerned. But I think one of the more important things for us is that we have a number of programs at Reach Up.
Yes.
In which we can teach men those very things that you talk about. Because of the Children's Board of Hillsborough County, Allegheny Franciscan Ministries, the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners, we have some tremendous programs where men can come in and we work with them. We have what we call male involvement coordinators that work with them one-on-one, and all of those issues that you talk about. I remember, as you talked about it not being too late, how when we first got started, one of the first things that one of our male involvement coordinators did was to work with a dad who had not been in touch with his daughter for 25 years.
Yes.
He helped the dad write a letter, get in touch with the daughter, and then help to facilitate and negotiate their coming back together. So dad should never, never, never give up.
Never give up. Talk a little bit about Reach Up and how it all came about. And you talked a little bit about the amenities and some of the things that you provide, but talk to us a little bit about Reach Up.
Reach Up actually started at the University of South Florida in the College of Public Health, the Lawton and Rhea Child Center for Healthy Mothers and Babies, and we transitioned away in 2009 to start our own community nonprofit, not because there was anything wrong with being at USF, but the community just said, you know, how about let's just get this program out in the community and still keep ties with USF. They still have in the College of Public Health our research and evaluation program. And so from there, we have just expanded. We started out doing maternal and child health programs, trying to reduce infant mortality. That means we're trying to make sure that babies live until they're 1 year old and beyond.
Yes.
And then, you know, you realize if you want to have a healthy baby, you got to have a healthy family, you got to have a healthy community. So we do what we call work across the lifespan. So we work with people. We say Reach Up is for you.
Yes.
From before you were born, when you're in your mom's belly, you know, to the time you're a senior.
Yes.
We have programs that reach out to all those populations.
That is so awesome. And that is one of the great things about having a platform to talk about these resources, because a lot of times people live in your community and they don't even know about the resources available. So on that, how would, there's a man out there struggling with fatherhood. He hears this interview. How does he gain access to the resources that Reach Up provides?
Okay. Of course, we have a phone number, and you can just call our main line. And we even have a young man who's our receptionist.
Okay.
And he will connect us. And that number, of course, is 813-712-6300 or 712-6300. And then we kind of have a real cool email and website, which is Reach Up, like reaching up to the sky. Reach Up Incorporated, and it's not Inc., but Incorporated, written totally out.org.
I got you.
So you can get us there. We have Facebook page. So you can
you
get
have
us
all
there.
of the social media
We have
platforms.
all of
You
the
can't
social
be
media
missed, is
platforms.
what you're saying.
We can't be missed.
That is awesome. And this message is not just for, you know, fathers who are struggling with
That's right.
fatherhood. I mean, this message is for grandmothers who know that their grandbaby ain't doing what they're supposed to do. This message is for mothers who know that their son ain't doing what they're supposed to do. Or this message is for girlfriends and baby mamas who know that their fathers are not doing what they're supposed to do. So please share this information. Let's get this out to the masses here in Tampa Bay so that those who are struggling on the topic of fatherhood can get all the antidotes, live a joyful and happy life, and implement something positive in the mindset of our children. Because
Call
that's
us.
what it's all
We
about.
have scholarships because of the Lightning Foundation, Florida Blue, and a number of other organizations that helped us. We have scholarships.
Yes.
So if there's a dad out there, a father figure, somebody who wants to come to this conference and you just can't afford it,
Yes.
call us. We'll get you a scholarship. We anybody who wants to be there, we will make sure that you're there.
I love it.
And it's a virtual, we have a real cool virtual platform called Lunch Pool.
Okay.
So when you come in, the platform actually sits you at a table where you can talk to people.
I love it.
And if there's you can see all of the tables, and if there's an empty chair, you can move to another table and talk to those people.
I love it.
So really, really cool.
All right, so the event again, as
Thursday and Friday, September 16 and 17, we start at 11:30 a.m. and go to 3:30, just 4 hours each day.
And where is it?
It's, as I said, virtual.
Oh, it's virtual.
It's virtual.
Okay. All right, and you log on to?
Well, we if you give us your email, we will get that out to you because it's a real kind of complicated URL that we have to give to people.
I got you. You send out a link. So
we sent out a link.
All right, so listen, if you are out there and you are trying to reach out to get all of the resources, again, you can call 813-712-6300, or you can go to reachupincorporated.com. .org. I'm sorry, reachupincorporated.org. Get all of the information, and if you're struggling out there in the topic of fatherhood, get you some remedies, man. Get you some resources and get back on your feet. You're mic'd up with Monday morning with yours truly, Michael Clayton. Going to be back for some more hot topics. We're going to be talking about Buccaneer football. I'll be giving you the breakdown here shortly, so y'all stay with us. We will be right back.
Thank you.
Buccaneer, Buccaneer. One eye patch like a Buccaneer. How you on the ship, you ain't a Buccaneer. 12 shots on me like a Buccaneer. Diamonds on me shining cause a Buccaneer. Big stock, deep face, Buccaneer. Feel go good with the Buccaneer. Want me shoot a cannon like a Buccaneer.
This is Kevin from Steppin' With a Vision, where I teach the smooth art of Chicago-style stepping. Join me on September 24th and September 25th as I celebrate 40 years of recovery, and I celebrate my 67th birthday. Yes, 2 nights of dancing and dinner. Workshops on Saturday the 25th if you want to learn to dance at 3315 Lemon Street in Tampa, 912 East Fletcher on Saturday. See you there.
Cancer affects everyone, but minority populations are often hit hardest. Moffitt Cancer Center is working to address the barriers that keep some groups from getting the care they need. African Americans develop cancer at a younger age, have more aggressive cancers, and experience worse outcomes than the general population.
While cancer treatment is evolving with precision medicine, who is being left behind? We know for many decades that some groups experience a greater burden of cancer than others. We can prevent it, we can detect it early. It's very beatable when we find it early. I have worked with cancer patients during their treatment. All cancer patients have courage.
So my treatment was about 18 months. I had 3 cancers and 7 surgeries. But my son told me, like, Mom, you're the strongest person that I know. Moffitt saved my life.
During COVID-19, Moffitt is a safe place for your cancer care. Call now to schedule an appointment.
Hi, this is Angela Birdsong, and during the week, I'm affectionately known as the Medicare Lady. Do not try to navigate Medicare without me. Please call me at 813-476-4837. I also do life insurance, and I will help people who are Medicare, Medicaid. Once again, 813-476-4837. 4837.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You're mic'd up on Monday morning with yours truly, Michael Clayton. And we are in for another exciting episode of the show. We kicked off talking about our Buccaneers. We're going to go back to it. We just had the distinguished guest, Miss Deborah Austin, who works with Reach Up, Inc. She just talked about the Affirming Fatherhood Conference that will be a virtual experience on the 16th and 17th. In order to get the link that they will send out so that you can have access to the conference, you will need to call this number. So get your pens ready. You need to call this number at Reach Up. It's 813-712-6300. That's 813-712-6300. Or you can go to reachupincorporated.org and make sure that they have your email. They will send you a link, and you will have access to the virtual Affirming Fatherhood Conference on the 16th and 17th. So we got a lot of pushing to do in our community, encouraging and educating when it comes to men and being fathers. And listen, nobody is a perfect father. It's not possible. All right, we all make mistakes, and I have 5 kids, and I've yet to get it right, you know, all the time. All right, it's always something. And, you know, when you go through life, the only thing that you can do is learn and continue to get better. And if you stay with that mindset, I believe that your children will be blessed, that you will reach that moment of clarity and peace that I believe that God designed us for, to enjoy this life. But children need their parents, man. It's undeniable the benefits of children when both parents are present, and when especially the father is attentive and present in the home. A lot of times we'll have, you know, a father in the home, but he may be working. I went through this. I was an NFL football player for 8 years. When I got done with my career, I looked back and I had missed the first day of schools. I had missed birthdays. I had missed all of these things that I couldn't get back. And the only thing that I can ask my wife, okay, is to have more babies. No, no, that's not everybody's solution. But I was blessed, and she fought me for 9 years. So think of that gap. All right, 9 years, she said, no way. It's not happening. All right, go and get snipped is what she was telling me. Young, go and get your snip up. All right, and I was like, no, I ain't found that in the Bible yet. All right, I need to run across a snip up in the Word before I go get snipped. All right, and then God had me dream, and I dreamed of having 2 babies, and I'm like, what? Wait a minute, I can't get snipped if I'm still on the trip. All right, if I'm still on the trip, I can't get snipped. And lo and behold, one night, you know, I was cuddling my wife, and, you know, I hit him with some of that game that got her, okay? That game that got her, that what made her say yes, all right? And I talked to her, and I said, baby, please, you don't know how it feels to be a man and miss out on your kids' lives. I said, I need this opportunity back, baby, please. And she said, all right, listen, I'll give you 1 month. That's what she told me. She told me I'll give you 1 month, but she didn't know that it was already written. It was done when she said, okay, when she gave me access. Okay, Beelzebub. All right, all I needed, she gave me 1 month, all I needed was a minute. All I needed was a minute. All right? And I got 2 more beautiful girls that are such a blessing to me, man. And I made a vow to be present. I walked away from a TV job because I couldn't take my kids to school, couldn't be with them, couldn't pick them up because I'm getting paid peanuts on local television, and I'm trying to figure out how I can be the best father. So I left my job to be the best father that I can be, and created my own lanes in media so that I can be a good father. And God has been good to me and blessed me tremendously for that decision. So I'm honored, and I'm encouraged to tell everybody, hey, man, don't miss out on your kids' lives. Anybody who's watched our show know that I've gone through some things with my babies, and I'm very transparent in talking about those issues because, hey, we all have issues. But one thing that the good word that I read that I keep close to me everywhere I go, I keep my sword on me everywhere I go. It says, this too shall pass. So therefore, anything that you're going through, men, women, anything that you're going through, it must pass. Don't know when. Don't know why. I do know why it's going to pass, because the word says so. And if you trust in that, you'll be able to find some peace in the midst of the fire, I like to call it. All right, so I've given y'all a summary of what's going on. So let's talk a little bit of Bucks football. All right, I know we got some viewers that are not from Tampa Bay, but I feel like it's important for you to let you know exactly where I'm coming from. Beelzebub, all right, this year, Beelzebub, all right. I'm calling myself. I had to give myself my own nickname, all right, because nobody loves me. All right, nobody loves MC, so I had to give myself a nickname. Do you know what that nickname is, Beelzebub? No. You're supposed to be talking to the mic. No. Come on, Beelzebub. They want to hear your voice. What's going on? They want to hear your Barry White going. Come on, Beelzebub. Anyway, so my nickname, I'm calling myself the football prophet. I know. Don't say blasphemy. I am the football prophet because
you predicted the Bucks win.
I did predict the Bucks win, but I've predicted more than just the Bucks winning.
You did.
I've predicted the process, the whole process. I told them to jump on. I told you last year to drink the Kool-Aid.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
Week 4, drink the Kool-Aid while everybody was jumping off the ship. All right, ship was sinking. You walked on the plank. You put down your last cup of beer that you had. All right, you took the Jack Daniels to the head and you jumped off the plank. All right, because the Buccaneers was driving you crazy. and the football prophet threw you a raft, threw you a life raft and say, get back in the boat and come drink some of this good Kool-Aid because it's good. It's really, really good. And that's what the Bucks turned out to be. Good. Really, really good. Well, in this segment, I'm going to tell you why the Bucks are not only good, but why they will be better this year. And there are a lot of little reasons why they will be better. But the main reason why they will be better is because of a few things. All right, in our wide receiver room, those who know the Bucks know that we have two of the best wide receivers in the National Football League, if not the best duo in the National Football League, that being Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Well, last year we had an addition to the group, that being All-Pro Antonio Brown, who came across some off-the-field issues and became a distraction in the National Football League. Name was all over the papers, and off-the-field issues, domestic violence, and all kind of little riffraff. So the NFL powers that be did not want to take a chance on Antonio Brown. And then there was Coach Bruce Arians, a player's coach, who understands what players go through, who was willing to give a man a second chance. And he brought Antonio Brown in, and he didn't just bring Antonio Brown in because he wanted to. He brought Antonio Brown in because the great Tom Brady wanted Antonio Brown on the team. Matter of fact, the great Tom Brady gave Bruce Arians his word that, hey, man, I got AB. We saw AB live with Tom Brady, all right? Saw him eat what Tom Brady ate, speak with Tom Brady, just mentored by the GOAT. And what we saw was nothing less than excellence last year from Antonio Brown with his given opportunities. As a former wide receiver myself, I know how difficult it is for a guy to step in when you haven't been to training camp, you haven't been practicing with the team. I know how difficult it is to step in and find your groove. And Antonio Brown did that immediately. Had a few mistakes in week one, but then he quickly caught on and was a viable weapon down the stretch of the season. I knew going into this year, I told our guys on the radio, on sports radio, that Antonio Brown would be the standout. Why? Because he's in his contract year. He wants to get paid what he's rightfully owed because of it, based upon his talent, and he wants to be a star. He's still got that diva in him. All wide receivers got a little diva in them, all right? He wants to be the guy deep down inside. He's acting like he's a nice guy now, like he doesn't have any more demons. But every wide receiver has the diva demon, all right? We got to have our socks looking right. Our mouthpiece got to be flashy. We got to have a towel hanging out. Our gloves got to be have stick 'em on it with a little bit of flash on it. Wristbands got to be on point. Everything got to be on point. Because when you look good, you play good. And when you play good, baby, they pay good. And the diva knows that. So Antonio Brown came into the season this year with a hell of a game in week one. Over 100 yards. I think he had over 9 targets. And he was just tremendous. From short game to deep game, Tom Brady found his target. And Antonio Brown is going to be a big reason why a good team is going to be better than last year, because Antonio Brown will be better than last year, and he's back into his rare form. Another topic of discussion why the Bucks will be better this year. We had 2 good running backs last year, one developing good running back, and one running back who has created a name for himself as Playoff Lenny, my former LSU guy. All right, and we have the rumbling Ronald Jones, who in my opinion is not a starting running back, but he's fast enough to take the ball to the house and create some big plays. So those 2 guys came together last year and gave us what we needed to get by. But I knew it could get better. I knew it could get better. Why? Because the great Tom Brady has always had a running back to throw to out of the backfield. Sometimes 30, 40, 50 times a year. Tom Brady has had a running back to throw to. Well, that was not the situation last year. Why? Because, one, they couldn't catch a cold in Antarctica. Couldn't catch a cold. Couldn't catch a bag of balls with a net. All right? Couldn't do nothing. But they found a way to get it done. When we come back, I'm going to finish my little ramble and rumble about these Bucks, baby. Why? Because the Bucks is on fire. That rhyme. Why? Because the Bucks is on fire. We'll be back right after this. We'll be back right after this. We'll be back right after this.
Buccaneer. One eye patch like a
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecues? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
We're playing your favorite old school. Today's R&B. With a smooth touch of jazz. You're listening to In Touch Radio.
Hi, this is Angela Birdsong with Tampa Bay Politics. And not only can you catch us on InTouchNews.com every Wednesday at 11 a.m., we now have a website at TampaBayPoliticsPodcast.com. We are on Apple, Google, Spotify, and Stitcher, which you can log in at any time and listen to Tampa Bay Politics.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. As we wrap up the last segment of Mic'd Up Monday Mornings, I want to get back into my rant for those who are interested on my Bucks. I was just talking about the running back situation and how Tom Brady has always had a running back to throw to, sometimes 30, 40, 50 times in a year. Well, he didn't have that last year in Ronald Jones or Leonard Fournette. They had a case of the dropsies, okay? They couldn't catch a cold, couldn't catch a bag of balls. And that created a sourpuss face on the GOAT. Every time they dropped the ball, he'll give you this look. Like he just mad. Like you just knew Tom Brady was just about to come to the sideline and rip you apart because you didn't catch the ball. Well, that was a problem last year. And not to mention, we still won a Super Bowl, and it was a problem. In some cases, if we didn't have a great defense, it would have been a big problem. If we didn't have a great defense, we wouldn't have won a Super Bowl anyway, all right? But in this case, this year, all right, the defense may not always play its best because the offenses know how good they are, so they're going to scheme and game plan all year. So I don't believe they'll have the same success as last year, or it will be much difficult to do that. To have as much defensive success. So what do? On offense, you gotta bring more to the party, baby. You gotta take advantage of your opportunity. So what did we do? We go out and we signed Giovanni Bernard, who was a longtime running back for the Cincinnati Bengals. He wasn't just this standout pro that you would hear about gathering all these yards and tops of the league. But he was very efficient his whole career at catching the ball out of the backfield and making the first guy miss, keeping the chains moving. So he's a role player. And when you get these championship teams, that's really what you want to build the foundation of your team upon. Role players. Guys who know their job and just do your job well every day. You don't have to worry about all the ins and outs. Just focus on your job. So Giovanni's job will be the third down back. And anybody who watched the game saw him catch about 2 or 3 passes, and man, did it look good. He caught it flawlessly, was able to skirt, keep the chains moving, get up the field for positive yards, and it just looked how it was supposed to be. It looked how Tom Brady's running backs looked in all of his years of winning Super Bowls. That's what it looked like. Looked very different than Leonard Fournette, who had an interception, who created an interception because ball hit his hands, popped off his hands, into the hands of the defender. The dropsies. We still got them. We still got them this year. All right? Ronald Jones fumbled the football. Well, the dropsies. Come on, running backs. We still got them. We still got things that's going to cost us games. But we go out and we get Gio Bernard, who can fulfill those weaknesses. That's why this good team will be better, because we went out and got better role players in the jobs that we need to win at, catching the ball out of the backfield. Giovanni Bernard didn't have a big game this past game, but what he did let me know that Tom Brady has a viable running back to throw to out of the backfield, and he will utilize that as he sees fit. It's going to be a good thing. Going to the tight ends, man, listen, Rob Gronkowski. Didn't see much of O.J. Howard. Didn't see much of any other tight end. But Rob Gronkowski came to play in week 1. Last year, he was on the couch. All right, on the couch. Tom Brady calls him up and say, hey, man, Gronk, I need you, baby. I need to win another Super Bowl in year 1. And I can't do it without you, big fella, so come join me. And the Bucs came out of pocket about a good $10 million right off the couch. All right, and into the crouch of the football field. And Rob Gronkowski did his thing last year, and he continued his greatness in week 1 with some great grabs, some great big plays, touchdown grab, and the guy just has the position on lock. I feel sorry for O.J. Howard, who's in a contract year, who needs this year to kind of stake his claim and getting paid. Well, he may not get it. He may not get the opportunity. Bad timing. I feel bad for him because O.J. Howard is a great talent. But he's also not taking advantage of some of his opportunities. He's dropped some balls last year. He's got hurt a few times. And it's given other players opportunities to step up. Players like Rob Gronkowski. And he did that. And we say in the league, man, once you get a job, you don't give it back. You don't give it back. And Rob Gronkowski is on a mission. And Tom Brady, I mean, he's his favorite target. He's been playing with him for a very long time. So Rob Gronkowski for our tight ends has the position on lock. And we need our other guys to come to the table, all right, make some plays. Our O-line did a significant job. I didn't see Tom Brady get pressured a lot. I didn't see him on the ground. Maybe a few times, but not to where I can say, hey, man, our offensive line had to get better. I think that they really picked off where they left off from last year. They had some injuries last year and had to kind of find that perfect formula for the Super Bowl, had to bring in some fresh faces that nobody knew about, but they were able to transition and play well for the Bucs on the O-line. So you know that they're being coached well. You know that they have a good culture when guys can do that. And this year in week 1, I believe that they kind of stepped up to the plate and took care of Tom Brady. I say don't curry the GOAT, all right? Don't curry the GOAT, Bezelbone, all right? Don't curry the GOAT, which means you got to protect the GOAT. Who is the GOAT? Tom Brady.
Tom Brady got to protect that.
Don't curry the GOAT. We like our GOAT alive and well. Don't you curry the GOAT. Offensive line did a great job. D-line, on the other hand, I think that they didn't do what they normally would have done. All right? I think that they can get a whole lot better. They did bring pressure, but, man, Dak Prescott was moving in that pocket like water. He was moving like water through a tin can, just gliding through the pocket, finding open spaces and delivering perfect balls. I got to say that our defensive line was not up to point simply because Dak Prescott did such a great job. Credit to him for having a season-ending injury last year. A lot of the eyes were on him on national television, wondering how Dak Prescott was going to respond to an injury. He got the $100 million deal. What would he do with it? Well, he came out and played lights out. Shouts out to Dak Prescott. He was throwing that thing, and he was one of the big reasons why our D-line was not successful. Our secondary was one of our weakest links. I kind of predicted this because I am the football prophet now. I told you our weakness would be our secondary. They struggled a little bit in last year. They had to find themselves. They needed guys to step up. We had the pressure going, so it was easier to play the cornerback position last year. So moving forward, if our D-line don't get home, we call it get to the quarterback. If your D-line don't get home, your secondary is going to go into Rome. All right, they're going to be roaming out there. All right, you don't want nobody, and nobody likes it when the phone is roaming. Just searching, just looking for service. We don't want that. So we need our D-line to get home so our cornerbacks and secondary are not put on Rome. All right? I like to rhyme a little bit, keep a little vibe, keep a little energy going. All right? It was our weak link, all right, and they had a rough time, but to give them credit, they were going against three great wide receivers in Amari Cooper, I think Gallup, and who's the other? CeeDee Lamb, I think his name is, and those guys were good, man. They were really good. They had a challenge, and we fell up short, but we did just enough to get by. Our linebackers, man, I don't know, we weren't ourselves. We played hard, tough football. We stopped the run. We stopped Ezekiel Elliott. We did what we were supposed to do. We just didn't get home. We didn't bring pressure, or, we didn't finish the pressure. We brought the pressure, but we didn't finish the pressure. And all I say to Buccaneers fans is, hey, man, this is just week one. It's week one. You got to find your comfort zone. You got to find yourselves, and all things will kind of fall in place. And not to mention the Tom Brady, who threw a couple of interceptions. I don't think they were his fault. Was the running back's fault. And we had some miscues early, but he quickly found himself and was able to find his targets. Found Chris Evans a few times, found Antonio Brown a lot of times, found Rob Gronkowski. So Tom Brady has his pick of the litter. Everybody he throws the ball to has an opportunity to score the football, and that's a great luxury to have. We just need our all-star receivers, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, to kind of, step it up. Everybody else came ready to play, and it seemed like our two dogs were kind of, at times, going through the motions. Not all game. They made some plays, but at times were just kind of content with being great receivers and not giving me no grind. So I think that's what Antonio Brown is going to bring to the table, a little motivation to get on your grind, because Antonio Brown wants to win, and he wants to be the face, and he wants to kind of steal some of that shine from Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in a good way, in a positive way, steal the shine. All right, but he wants to make him some money. So Tom Brady has his pick of the litter in wide receivers. In my opinion, I told y'all that the Bucs will go undefeated this year. Yes, I said it. I said it and I meant it. I said it and I meant it. Undefeated with a Super Bowl win. And week after week, I'm going to tell you why the Bucs, how they beat the Cowboys, a good Dallas Cowboys team, when you had 4 turnovers. How do you do that, Tampa Bay Bucs? Because you're going to go undefeated. That's why. Because you can't lose. Because the prophet is spoken. All right, put that in the airways for all who's listening. Thank y'all for all who's tuning in. Listen, I want to tell y'all about, really quick before we get off, a vaccination event that's coming up. The NFL alumni has teamed up with the CDC, and we have an event that's coming up where you can meet NFL players and come get information on getting vaccinated. That event is Friday, September 17th at the Anna G. Mendez University, 3655 West Waters Avenue. This is an NFL alumni event teamed up with the CDC, so that we can bring and give our testimonies on getting vaccinated, why it's important to get vaccinated. I was a little bit hesitant at first, and then I talked to my doctor. I talked to my wife, who's a doctor. And after gaining the information, I changed my mind. And I think that I changed my mind for the better. But it is your choice. Don't let anybody make you do anything, all right? But I suggest that you reach out to your healthcare providers, get the information so that you can make a sound decision on getting vaccinated. And that event is happening on the 17th. So thank y'all for tuning in to Mic'd Up Mondays. We will see you next Monday. Until then, be blessed. Stay prayed up. It's your boy MC, and we out, baby.
Buccaneer. One eye patch like a buccaneer. How you on the ship, you ain't a buccaneer. 12 shots on me like a buccaneer. Diamonds on me shining cause a buccaneer. Big stock, deep face, buccaneer. Feel go good with the buccaneer. Want me shoot a cannon like a buccaneer. Buccaneer. One eye patch like a buccaneer. How you on the ship, you ain't a buccaneer. 12 shots on me like a buccaneer. Diamonds on me shining cause a buccaneer. Big stock, deep face, buccaneer. Feel go good with the buccaneer. Want me shoot a cannon like a buccaneer.